How's it going, everybody? Fernando, the Lone Star Halo. Well, we're going to bring in an old friend. He's used to intros because that's what happens when you come out of the bullpen. So we're going to give him one. All that and more coming up after this.
One, two, three, go! Oh, 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 oh. From Texas to Anaheim, we're bringing the heat. Don and Fernando got the news every week. Walk-off strikeouts, who's making a name? Who's in the clutch and who's taking the blame? Lone Star Halo, fucking baseball, here we go. Big hats, bad calls, who's gonna rise and who's gonna fall?
How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Lone Star Halo podcast. There he is, right there, Ty Buttrey. It's definitely a friend to call. It's definitely fair to call him a friend of the network at this point. He's definitely become a friend of mine. Ty, thanks for taking the time, as always, man, to check in with us.
Oh man, Fernando, I love you guys, man. I love Halo Nation. You guys have always treated me so well. Obviously, being out of the game at this point, I'm just kind of I'm a washed up has been. But you guys, man, just you guys really do. Angel Nation, you guys just really are a family environment, and you guys have just shown so much love to me over the years. So anytime that I can jump on, talk baseball, talk with you, man, it's a good day.
Yeah, you've been busy. I've seen that you've been doing some other podcasts and stuff too. So I'll commend you on that. There's a lot of guys who they don't really give back, if you will, right? You've always kind of been really close with the fans, your fans. You've done a really good job of showing that you're just a genuine dude. And not to say that there isn't other athletes who aren't, right? But you kind of gone above and beyond and gotten super close to other people. So for better or worse, you've always been really personable, and that's awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, honestly, it's not hard. It's not hard to be a nice human being. It really is. You have to kind of go out of your way to be a jerk. Um, and that's never resonated with me. And some people are, some people that's their thing. It's just, dude, we're all human beings at the end of the day. Some of us are good at banking, some of us are good at throwing baseballs, other of us, we're good at hosting podcasts. We're all the same exact person. We're just here on this, earth doing our thing, and it's easy to be nice to each other.
I was kind of say, I feel like, and I won't put words in your mouth, but for me, I almost still kind of feel like a kid just kind of figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
still have the mentality sometimes of like a teenager. I still have those moments where I'm like, oh, Dad, how do I do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I had to ask my mom for help years ago when I made my first dentist appointment without her. So, don't laugh. There's a lot of people who have been on that boat too. So,
Yeah. As the reason I'm blocking out guys, Sam and Fernando, Sam, she keeps calling me. So usually she calls me like 3 times, and if she calls the third time, I may have to answer it. But no, yeah, man. No, I'm with you. I'm the same way. Like I sit here and I'm like, dude, I'm 32. Like I'm starting, like I'm 8 years away from 40. Like what is going on? I need to be more reliant, like self-reliant on myself, but also I don't know. I think that's just how like it's easy to feel like that. Like the world is such a crazy place right now, and being a kid, it's like when things were easy or things were simple. That's kind of like why did I'm always searching, man, for like why do things have to be so difficult? Why can't people in places like why can't businesses just do the right thing? Like it's not hard to figure stuff out and to make it efficient But yeah, like I have to go get my driver's license. I have to, call, make an appointment. I'm gonna get there. They're gonna turn me away because I don't have this, and I have to remake an appointment. It's 3 days out. It's like the whole process, all that stuff, man, all that adulting stuff. I'm over it, but here we are.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. We're all just kids figuring it out, man. Um, but yeah, no, like I said, thank you for taking the time. Ty is always willing to come on the podcast. We're always appreciative about that. So I got a mix of questions, that I want to ask, and then we have obviously some audience questions. The first thing everybody wants to know, this was a question we got 6 or 7 times in different variations. What's retirement from baseball been? You're still working.
Yeah.
And what are you doing to stay active? I know you're very big into taking care of yourself, both the mental side of things and the physical side of things. So what have you done to just kind of stay loose and all that?
Yeah, so I'm super burnt out, and I've just came to terms with it. Um, and that was kind of a part of. I mean, that was probably a big reason to why. Obviously, like when you leave baseball and you leave it the way I left it, you always, it was a rash. It was a pretty like crazy decision, but also 5 years later, trying to come to terms with everything. And man, I physically just got so burnt out. Like I really pushed myself so hard in the gym, mentally pushed myself really hard. And I just haven't been able to get myself into like that flow of getting into the gym. I used to go 3, 4, 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I can't get myself to get into the gym on that level. And I don't think I'll ever will. And I don't think I ever want to. So I've been finding a lot of peace and just doing some 20 push-ups, 30 push-ups a day, my sit-ups, my squats, my yoga. I'm big into mobility and core. Doing like a kind of like a floor Pilates routine. And then every once in a while go into the gym. I'll do some curls because Sam likes the big arms. So I gotta get the arms right for her. But yeah, I just kind of like it's like a 20-minute workout, but I do it every day. I don't like go Monday with I don't do like the Monday upper body, Wednesday lower body, Friday upper. Like I don't kill myself. I do it every single day. I don't skip a day, and it's 10 to 20 minutes. It keeps me consistent, keeps me feeling fresh. I haven't jumped on the cardio. Probably should. I've gained probably 15 pounds since retirement, so gonna have to shape up a little bit here soon.
There you go, the freshman 15.
Yeah. Yes, it's starting to be the freaking freshman 25 if I don't watch it soon.
Well, look, one thing that I think we should say to people who are listening is fitness is what you want it to be, right? And what I think society needs to get better at, especially now in the days of like influencers and all that, and like these fitness influencers, is what you don't want is to have an unhealthy obsession with things like working out, right? Working out is what you need it to be for yourself, right? There are some people who want to be as skinny as possible, as fit as possible, as big as possible. You got to figure out what's best for you, what's best for your routine, right? For me, I like to do enough so that I don't feel guilty when the end of the night rolls around and I pull out some ice cream from the freezer. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
my idea of fitness. So I walk about 5 to 10 miles a day doing pest control. That's, I'm outside all day. It's 100 degrees here in Texas with 70% humidity. I'm sweating a lot. So my water weight's gone all the time, right? So that kind of eliminates a lot of the cardio I need.
Yeah.
And then I come home, I do my 250 to 300 jumping jacks, my 300
Nice.
leg lifts, and then 300 curls. And that's my idea of working out. And you know what? It works for me. And that's the thing, man. Everyone's got to figure out what works for them.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that you kind of have that routine because, yeah, so many people are like obsessed almost with, I need to go to the gym every day. When for some people, it's just not practical.
No, it's not. It's actually not practical, and that's why I moved into an apartment, Fernando. Not for just this reason, but like I would tell Sam, I'm like, Sam, let's drive to the gym 20 minutes, drive back, you know, fight to find a machine, sit there. I'm like, I'm spending 2.5 hours when I can just do a freaking workout here in my apartment complex. That's awesome. Or do like a floor routine, save myself 2 hours. Like, I'm not like my body right now is not my business. Like that was the last 13 years of my life. My body was my business then. Like right now, my body is as long as I'm like happy, healthy, feel good to some degree. Like I'm not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm not trying to be a influencer model. Like, and neither is Sam. Like we're here to like build our careers and build family, and like dude, if you're happy, that's more important than sitting there and spending 4 hours. Good for you too. Like, good for you if you are, if that's your thing. But like, for me, man, I found a lot of peace with not having to go to the gym for 4 hours a day, like I was when I was training.
Yeah, I always found it easier because I used to travel a lot. We would chit chat in the past, and yeah, I used to be gone 20 days a month doing pest control. And for me, it was much easier to work out when I was on the road because hotels have a gym. But when I was home, same thing. Going to the gym, having to go out of my way, I just wouldn't do it. So yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of got no home routine. But
yeah.
you mentioned Sam. I know she's not a Tudor horn type of person. She boss babe for sure, man. She's killing it. Hey, Athlete Con's getting bigger. You guys just did the second one.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that a little bit about that?
Yeah, I I'm plugging AthleteCon, but I also just love the freaking hat right now. And I Sam's killing it, man. Sam's killing it. She's been working her ass off since, you know,
Ever?
2000, yeah, since 2016, and going back into high school when I knew her, she was on DECA and FBLA, going to nationals, creating inventions. She just has always had that business acumen. And she's smart, man. She's a smart girl. She works her butt off. I mean, she really is a grinder. Like she grinds at stuff and just like sits there and sends out proposals and emails and edits and just like, the side of business that people don't talk about that sucks, the entrepreneurship side. And you guys see it, like the show's the fun part, but the editing, the coordination, the follow-up, the text, the tech side of it, all the crappy stuff, and that's where I'm like, babe, you're freaking, you're a badass, and that's why you're gonna go far because she dominates that stuff. And so,
Mhm.
AthleteCon 2.0, and I'll keep it short. It was great, man. Livy Dunn showed up. We had 100 athletes.
I saw
Um,
that.
yeah, we had Livy, her mom, and her sister, Jules. They've all kind of been working behind the scenes, and um, we had like 100 Division 1 athletes, man. We had brands there. Sam's really trying to build an athlete convention, and there's a Comic Con convention and a VidCon convention, and Sam wanted to, and obviously I'm helping her behind the scenes where and when I can, but AthleteCon was awesome. Like it was like Project X, but very educational and just impactful for athletes and brands, man. It was an awesome event.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird, right? Because NIL is still a very, very new world, and we're kind of barely starting to see the positive repercussions of things like NIL, right? Because now, when guys are getting drafted, you were a baseball player, so we'll talk baseball. Guys now all of a sudden might not be incentivized by the signing bonus because you know what, man, I can go to college,
Yeah.
go to these SEC schools, for instance, and make a ton of money. I mean, I saw that Livy Dunn went there, and the first thing I thought about was, man, what a get. You know what I mean? One of the most recognizable college athletes on the planet. And yeah, if anyone can talk about building a brand, it's definitely Livy. And I mean, I could only imagine some of the other athletes you guys had there. But yeah, dude, just to see Sam's journey, and I've obviously have not seen it as behind the scenes as you have, but you and I have talked for years behind the scenes. I've seen Sam develop. Man, how cool is it to see her come from the ground up, and just the concept of like behind the lights, essentially turning into this has been really, really, really cool. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for you guys. Really.
Thank you. Yeah, Fernando, and anyone that's followed Sam and I's journey, we go back. I mean, there was a business called Pretty, and it was a wedding rental hotel business that we wanted to, we created a whole LLC, and that didn't work. And then we got into Behind the Lights and created a badass nonprofit. off of Sam's YouTube channel of interviewing athletes, and that started from her and I sitting in, Mike Trout's house during COVID in Florida that he let us stay, him and his wife Jessica, and we were sitting there and we were trying to build, like Sam was trying to build a brand, and we were sitting there in the living room, and her and I are like, hey, we really think like neon, and like this is how we talk, like we really think like neon colors contrast really well with black. And I'm like, we have this behind the lights thing. Like, let's redo the behind the lights image. Let's really make this thing cool. And Sam sits there and like we took an idea and then she drew out the BTL logo. And like the BTL logo with the BT and the L all kind of crossed together with like the neon blue, contrasted over the black. And then we called our buddy, put it into a t-shirt. And by the way, this is when I was like trying to do the whole, absolutely got my freaking I got destroyed in the MLB Players Show. That was I was so bad in the Players
Yeah, during
Tournament.
2020
Yeah,
when you were playing on the was it
yeah.
Xbox?
So like, yeah, it was just so bad. It was so bad. PS4. I won 2 games, which like, anyways. But like, we're sitting there. COVID's freaking out. Everyone's doing that. We're sitting like we're just that's when I bought the RV too, down in Florida and drove it across the country into it just was. I look back and I'm like, dude, what was Sam and I what were we doing? Like it was a crazy life. But getting back into BTL, like transformed into BTL, created the logo. Obviously I retired early, that whole thing, and then started the camps, wanted to really give back, killed it. We launched a bunch of successful camps. We're still going to do that. It's just it takes a lot of focus and like resources to do that. And then the Drip Social House was like the whole full on neon graffiti, kind of grunge look. Which again, it was more so like, what are we doing? But like also trying to figure out, we both were like kind of seeing the social media thing and wanted to create community. We did live with Sam and Ty. We did the pickle reviews. We did the hot sauce, the seltzer, the crypto show. So we've just been dabbling in all these random things, and finally, NIL passed, and I guess you could say like Sam being an athlete branding, athlete marketing, what we learned with like business and stuff in the past endeavors, like it just made sense for her and me to help her go in like all in on NIL, athlete con branding. Like people love the athlete con logo. They love the branding stuff, man. That's kind of like a long-winded ramble, but like, yeah, appreciate you noticing that, man, because it's been a lot, and not a lot of people, they see athlete con and they don't see what like going back 2016, everything that's gone into it.
Um, so since you already kind of like took a step back, it's been 5 years since you've been on a major league mound, in a professional game. I know you came back, you did some minor leagues. But when you think back to your time in the major leagues, is there like one moment that you like really remember, and like one moment like, you know, uh, when you guys start a family and your kids ask like, hey man, like, hey dad, what was it like? Is there like one moment that you would really share with them, or one thing that you think like encapsulated that moment of like, man, I'm here, I made it?
Yeah, I mean, geez, there's a few. I think the thing that people need to understand about the big leagues is it's big right when you start. Like, there's no, there's no like onboarding. There's no, you go from the minor leagues in like a crappy hotel, and it's gotten a lot better nowadays. So I can't say crappy, but you go from the minor leagues to the big leagues, which it's like, dude, it's a full on production. Like they call it a show for a reason. It is premiere, it is grand, it is clean. The players, everyone dresses nice, everyone has nice clothes, nice watches, nice cars. The staff is unbelievable, the trainers are unbelievable. Everyone's trying to help you. It's just a like A plus service. Like it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Like the travel secretary, everyone's like that stuff is what I'll miss. Like I'll miss it really. It's like every single day you wake up, you have people that got your back. And that was the coolest thing. Now when you leave, you're not on the team, you're retired or whatever happens, like, people move on, right? Like they move on. You can only spread your resources so thin. But like when you're on that team, when you're on a big league roster, it's like dude, and I'm kind of I'm thinking as I'm talking right now because I'm going back into some of the examples, and I think about some of the red carpet events we had with Angels, and some of the donor meetings, and driving to Laguna Beach and seeing how awesome it was, having off days and being able to go to the Ritz, like especially in Southern California, like right there in Anaheim, man. It's different than being in Cleveland, or it's different than being in
Were
I
you
don't.
Pawtucket? Is that where you were?
Yeah, like it's different than some of these cities. So like you're also, you're playing in the big leagues. You're also playing in probably Southern California geographically is the nicest place, one of the nicest places in the whole entire world. So yeah, it was just a cool experience, man. I think the biggest thing that I miss and the thing that stands out the most was just like the business customer service, I guess you can say it. Everyone's so there to help you, and playing in Southern California it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then again, flying on the jets, getting done at 11, getting on a private plane, flying across the country, getting into the Ritz at 3 o'clock in the morning, is cool, and playing Boston. Like it really is. It's an awesome experience. But it's an awesome experience enough to where once you experience it, you're also at the point where for me it was I experienced all of it, and I was able to I guess I was able to kind of ask myself, if I'm able to walk away from that, am I going to be okay and maybe not live in that grand luxury life anymore. And at the time I wasn't sure, and now looking back 5 years later, man, listen, like those experiences, the nice cars, the nice things, like I'll remember those. Sam will remember that forever. But like we found a lot of peace and kind of living a simpler life and getting back, and we're both kind of addicted to the grind. It's like we love to build things up and grinded to get to the big leagues. Now we want to grind to get somewhere else.
Yeah, you've always been a nose to the grindstone type guy. I mean, from the every conversation I've ever had, you don't sit still. Like I mean, in a positive way. You know what I mean? You're always
Yeah,
kind of thinking forward. You're always thinking ahead, and that's a good mentality to have.
it's a blessing and a curse, man, because it never shuts off. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And my girlfriend tells me all the time, my biggest thing that I need to work on is gratitude. Not because I'm not thankful for what I have, but because I'm always thinking ahead. And I think because of that, you lose sight. And I don't know if you feel like this. You lose sight of like the beauty of what you do have. Like she tells me all the time, like right now, I mean, I have you can see my room around me, man. I have what's essentially thousands of dollars worth of stuff that I've gotten by hand. So like I sit and appreciate all this, but one day we're gonna have the blessing of starting a family, and this won't be here anymore. It's gonna be a kid's room. So she
yeah.
tells me all the time, like, hey, we have a 4-bedroom house, we have all this stuff. You need to take a second and appreciate what you have. But I'm very much like you, where it's like, it's not exactly that it's not good enough. It's that like, well, yeah, this is great, but we need to get to this level. So that's always been the thing I need to work on, man.
Fernando, but like, listen, man, like, honestly, dude, I respect that so much what you guys do. Not that you need my respect, but like, dude, you guys are consistent. You guys have been building a show, you're building community, you're building network, and that's hard. Like, it's really hard to build that stuff, man. And that's that's to me like that's why when people say like, oh, people put athletes and celebrities on a pedestal, I'm like, dude, just because that may get a little bit more fame or recognition, everyone has that. Well, not everyone, definitely not everyone. Some individuals have um, that feeling in them where they're like, okay, this is great, but I want more. Or, okay, I accomplished this, and not more like more money, more fame. It's I want I want to see how good I can be. How much more can I elevate myself? Okay, I accomplished this. Now I want to build and create and accomplish this. And it's like it's a never satisfied mindset. You're never satisfied. And some people like will say, well, stop and smell the roses. Yeah, of course, right? Like, of course, there's gonna be days, but like, that's why I say it's a blessing and a curse. Is like, yeah, like there's days where when you sit there and you're like, man, we can appreciate this day. But also we are put on like the chances of, and again, I'm not trying to be philosophical, but like the chances of us being born, put on this earth in these bodies, doing what we got to do, man, and to just sit there and like, you know, freaking eat chips all day and just kind of that's it. Like that's my job, man. Like I'm just gonna sit in my home. I'm just gonna just kind of piss away my life. I'm not gonna build anything. I'm not gonna create anything. I'm not gonna do anything, and then I'm just gonna die. Like that to me sounds like hell. Like I don't ever want to do that. And so I may do some things that are gonna be wrong or I'm gonna mess up, but like at least I'm trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I mean, we've done this podcast for 4 years now. You know what? I'm lucky enough that I do have thousands of people a week that listen to my voice and they choose to do that. Who knows why they do, but they do. And you know what? We might not have the biggest audience, but I would much rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, because those 4 quarters are there for you whenever you need it. Whenever we try to do charity events and help the community in any way we can, they're there for us. We give back anywhere we can. We do these tailgates, we do these softball games to just try to spend time with people who give us their time, to just let them know, like, hey, man, like, we appreciate you. I would much rather be in that situation than these people who have millions of viewers. And let's face it, man, I'm sure you've met a couple content creators. They don't give a shit about their audience. They don't. They say they
No,
do, but
no.
they just don't. And I
Yeah,
never, ever want to be that person. I want to use my platform to help whoever I can. Might not be the biggest one, but you know what? I know the people who are watching would do anything for us. And they know, at least I'm hoping they do, that we would do anything for them, because we do.
yeah,
We've had members of our community tragically pass away, and, we would do like a tailgate for them. Um, Angel's grandma, I'm sure you got to meet her. When her husband passed away, the first thing Todd and I did, sent her a really nice bouquet of flowers. You know what? Is that gonna ease the loss of losing your husband? Of course not. But you know what? It's us doing just a little something to say, hey, you know what? We thought about you today. We're sorry for your loss. That's what you got to do when you have people who take their time and energy to support you. And you've always done that. Sam's always done that. You guys are good, genuine people, and I think that's kind of why we've always clicked, because genuine people will
yeah.
always find genuine people.
True, true. Well said, man. Yeah, love what you guys have always poured in. Even going back when I was, speaking out on kind of like the minor league like wage, like you guys were doing drives and fundraising and sponsorships and I still can't believe people were, even former baseball players back then. I don't want to bring up like old memories, like bad memories. I'm like, people are fighting that. I'm like, dude, people are getting paid 79 cents an hour. Like,
Yeah.
pure, like I get it. Like I get it to some degree. Yes, the opportunity to make a lot of money in the big leagues, and I know I'm getting off topic, but like, it still grinds my gears, man. When I sit there and I'm like, why is this not like common thought that minor leaguers need to be paid more than $6,000 in a year? Like $6,000.
Yeah.
Like they're grown ass men doing a freaking one of the things, and you guys were there, promoting, talking about it. I really appreciate that. And now look, it's guys are getting paid, 30K. 30K is still poverty. It's still low, but geez,
Step in the right direction.
yeah, it's a step in the right direction, going from 6K a year to 30K a year. Holy crap! So they 5x their salary.
Yeah, and you know what? We'd be naive to think that me, made the difference. But you know what?
Yeah,
It
no,
was
no,
part. It was a
yeah,
collective voice. I
yeah,
mean, really, I think Kyron Lovegrove was really, really one of the guys who made the biggest impact. When that story came out
definitely,
of him sitting, there was that picture of him sitting in the room, just with like a dirty mattress or whatever, and it just
yeah.
all
It
these
was
people collectively speaking out definitely were part of the solution. So
the dam was about to break. It was long overdue. I had nothing to do with the grassroots movement of it. Again, just retired. Saw that this is absolutely out of control. Everyone should be rallying behind this. Baseball players, we don't like to speak out, and if you do, you can get kind of ostracized easily. So, a lot of guys were careful. No one wants to speak out and offend anyone nowadays. And so, at that point, it's like, yeah, there's sometimes you just need to speak out. and do what's right. So yeah, but yeah, man, it's good.
Um, so was there any? So you already mentioned the glitz and glamour that came around when you got to the major league level. Was there any part of getting to that level that did make it hard when you retired, you walked away, you decided to come back, give it another go? You signed with Houston, and then you signed with Seattle. You made it to AAA both times there.
Yeah.
Was there any part of it that made it hard to be at the major league level, take that step away, and then come back, and then kind of have to get back in the trenches again, and kind of live through that cycle? Because major or minor league baseball is extremely difficult.
Yeah, man. I still think to this day, like when I first got to the Angels in 2018, um, Rad, who was the bullpen coach, came up to me and he was like, "Man, you got heart." He's like, "You got a lot of heart." And he like pointed at me and he like really was like serious. He's like, "Baseball is going to change in the next 5 years. It's going to be a completely different game, and a lot of people are going to want to change you. Don't let them change you." And I was like, "Whoa." And it was like, it was Charles Nagy, Rad, and like, Sosha, and it was like the last kind of era of the Angels, old school kind of methodology. And he said that, and it was so true. And I think I fell victim to that, not victim, but I changed things without kind of realizing it. And he saw it. He's like, "Dude, everything you're doing right now is great. You can do this for the rest of your life. You don't need a new pitch. You don't need new mechanics. You don't need a new workout. You can do this for the rest of your career and be super successful. And everyone's going to throw all these ideas at you to try to make you better." And I was always a get better, get better, get better, to the point where it actually made me worse. And so, but the one thing that stood out really with what he said was, "Dude, you got huge heart." And that's how I've always pitched, like, pressure situations, big crowd, kind of doubting, is this, oh my God, bases loaded, like, let me get out of it. Like, I would level up as it got harder. And um, I'll say that it was, you know, going into AAA, it was hard to get that heartbeat back, that intense feeling. And that's where, like, if you look back with the Astros spring training, right? I did pretty well. Like I had a lot of good games. There was a couple blow up. Like overall, did really well. Competed. Had a couple like dominant flashes. 90, like everything was working. And then spring training with the Mariners absolutely killed it. Killed it to the point where I was surprised I didn't break with the club.
I remember texting you that one game where the air happened to left field, and I was like, "Man, that was not on you."
Yeah, like that was like to the first point. I was like, "Oh my God!" Like I'm gonna get back to the big leagues. I'm here now. My slider and my changeup maybe were a little bit behind, but like overall, I was like, "Man, like this is really good." And then got sent to AAA and got sent to AAA with Houston, AAA with the Angels. And at that point, in order for me to get back to the big leagues and being 32 years old, I would have had to put myself in that 25-year-old mindset that I did. Like I flipped my mindset when I was 24, 23, and I really kind of went into a zone. And I told myself, I'm like, "You're done. Like, no more losing. Everything you do, you're going to win. Everything you do, you're going to try your absolute hardest." And it was like almost to the point where I had to like brainwash myself to be good, to stop settling for bad performances. That like I was like, enough's enough, it's time to win. And I would do mantras, I would do journaling, I would do meditations, I would say things, I would listen to audio tapes. And who knows, maybe it was like that's kind of what led me to like get burnt out, but like it worked. And also it just was going back into AAA, man. Like it just wasn't the same. Like it wasn't the same. And I had a long conversation with Sam at 32. I didn't pitch well in AAA. Fastball velo was great, obviously, but like just wasn't. I didn't have that sauce, and it was like, okay, I'm 32. I can keep grinding. You can keep traveling out to me. I can try to go to Mexico, Japan, Taiwan, or we can just kind of like you know call it for what it is and say, hey, this is thanks for the 13 years baseball. It's been good. And that's kind of where the decision lied. It was like I'm 32. I don't have a college education, even though business is kind of easy to me. I didn't want to be 37, 38 with no degree and getting into coaching. So ripped the band-aid off, and here we are selling turf, building conventions, still doing podcasts, having a blast, man.
You did do a little bit of pitching coaching, right? The holistic pitching.
Yeah, I did the remote training. I met up Bowden Francis. He's a starter for the Blue Jays. His brother Harrison and I played in Puerto Rico together. Harrison's an unbelievable smart guy. Yeah, we did a remote program. We were killing it. We had a lot, like 30 kids. Um, Ultimately, I think him and I maybe saw a little bit different in how we wanted the future of this thing to go.
Mhm.
I wanted a little bit more in person. He wanted to kind of keep it strictly remote. Um, I have so much respect for them and what they're doing. I just, again, and I also think where Sam and I were in our life, like, we need a little bit more stability.
That's fair.
Yeah, kind of jump into the career path stuff.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Yeah.
For what you guys are trying to do. Man, one of my biggest wishes is, man, I wish I would have got an opportunity to play in like somewhere like Japan. Honestly, if I would have had a choice to play 1 year, personally, I think I would have taken Japan over the U.S. if I was only going to get a one and done situation, just because they take their baseball so seriously over there. I feel like that would have been really, really cool.
It was my biggest, and I almost stayed in the game just because of Japan. I was begging. I had a Japanese agent. Guy was awesome, and I really that will be one of my biggest regrets is because I'm like an anime, and I'm not saying Japan anime, but like I am
That's how you
just.
just got yourself canceled. Congratulations.
I've been canceled. I've been canceled many times, so cancel me again. I just like I that culture. I admire that culture so much. The way they go about their business, the respect that they have. Everyone works their ass off. It's clean. The food's great. It's beautiful. Everyone loves anime, and it's like anime and cartoons is like normal over there. And I grew up a huge anime nerd, and so like I just wanted to like be in that culture, man. Like I respect that culture so much. Um, it's so disciplined too that I was thinking maybe that's what I needed to kind of go over there, get super disciplined, come back. And it got so competitive, man. Like Japan was not like 5, 6 years ago. It blew up, and it probably blew up because I mean, geez, look, they're like, look at Shohei, look at all these guys. Like they're not. They used to kind of be like USA players 1A, and then Japan players were kind of the 1B, and Dominican was maybe like 1B, and like you look around, Japan's they're they're elite guys coming out of there year after year. Like they are figuring it out. And so I just one of my biggest fumbles, man, to my career that I actually regret. I don't regret a lot besides not investing more into Bitcoin when I was younger. Um,
Or buying a house when I was in 8th grade. Those
yeah.
memes all the time.
One of my biggest regrets is like not trying to fully jump into that the Japanese market.
Yeah, like I said, man, that would just be so fun. Just even seeing the World Baseball Classic and just seeing how they approach baseball just seems like that'd be such a fun environment. The
Yeah.
complete opposite of here. I mean,
Yeah.
especially, we've
Now
already kind of said it, but
I will say though, I will say I was a big fan. I was a big fan. There was some things about the All-Star game and the home run derby I didn't like. I definitely don't like mic'd up Kershaw, talking and like that was I love like I don't know Kershaw, but like he's a legend. He can do what he wants. He doesn't care about my opinion, but definitely don't like mic'd up pitcher catcher conversation. That was don't want to see that. And I definitely don't want to see dual camera uh I don't want to see the hitter hitting to the left and where the ball's going to the right. I couldn't see it. It pissed me off. I wanted just traditional, right behind. Let me see the guy hit. That was like a nitpick, right? That's a nitpick. Everything else, the hype, the red carpet, the athletes. Um, I thought MLB kind of is starting to steal the show with because you don't hear about the NFL All Star Game and no one cares about the NBA All Star Game.
correct. Yeah,
And
yeah,
like MLB kind of stole the like, hey, this is actually a really cool like I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, I kind of want to travel to the MLB All-Star game next year just to be there.
Yeah, I've gotten to go to two of them, and they're really fun. I will say this: just even being, I can unbiasedly say I do think baseball has the best All Star game, just because it's the only game that people try in. Because you can't not play baseball, right?
Yeah, true.
You can't half swing, you can't half throw a runner at first base. You know what I mean? The only thing you can cut out of the game is not diving for balls if you're, a
Yeah,
fielder, and B, not running down the line as fast as you normally do because the game doesn't matter. But everything else, I mean, you can't half pitch a ball. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Nobody plays defense in the NBA All Star game, which is kind of why it's turned into a joke. It's like 180 to 150. It's like, I don't want to watch that. The Pro Bowl is literally a flag football game. But NHL is on to something with their Four Nations tournament. I think it'd be really cool if baseball considered that one day. Maybe taking like the four best World
yeah,
Baseball Classic teams and then just doing like a mini tournament in season. But that's a
yeah,
topic for another day.
yeah, 100%. I think the World Baseball Classic, seeing Shohei strike out Trout and being on the same team, like that's that's apex, like that's golden content, man. Like
Absolutely.
that was so crazy. And even Shohei said, he's like, that was actually cooler than winning. That was more fun than playing the World Series. Like the World Baseball Classic and baseball in general is killing it. Little leagues, even though the whole money making machine right now with it's out of control with travel ball, it is what it is. Regardless, it's doing really well. And I've always been like, I'll always, troll and I'll be a clown every once in a while. But like at the end of the day, man, and you know this, like I care about the fans. The fans drive everything. Make the fans happy. The fans pay salaries. The fans, if no fans show up, there's no more game. And so do whatever you can to make the fans and the younger generation excited about playing the game of baseball. And that's why I love the Savannah Bananas, even though people, old school guys, hate the Savannah Bananas. They are still growing the game. Now, I will say, after listening to Jesse, Yellow Tux talk, he wants to create a whole new sport, which is okay. That's he's like, yeah, baseball's boring. I want to create a whole new sport. Which hats off to him. Literally, regardless, it's still net positive for the game of baseball.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, no, it's good publicity, and it's also really good for getting the people who would never watch baseball. I mean, my girlfriend's mom does not really like baseball, but she loves the Savannah Bananas, so I
Yeah,
think it's really, really good for that. Okay, last thing I got for you, man. So you got to play in four different organizations: the Red Sox, Angels, Astros, Mariners. What's one positive from each organization, and one negative from each organization?
damn, that's a really good question, Fernando. Okay, so
We'll start in order. We'll
yeah,
go with the Red Sox.
positive about the Red Sox is they are first class start to finish. Rookie ball, all the way up into the big leagues. They give great food. They have a huge budget for supplements. The facilities are great. Um, the staff truly they go out and hire who they think are the most capable and smartest guys. They create a very family environment, and you get to play for the freaking. That's literally why I took the deal. Was I was like, the Boston Red Sox, really? The Boston Red Sox are offering me a deal. Yeah, I think I'll sign. Like the prestigiousness, it's crazy.
Yeah, one of the most recognizable logos in the world.
Yeah, like yeah, and so like top to bottom, just a first class organization. The negatives I would say would be it gets a little political with like the prospect rankings and if you're not like a guy and if you kind of get like if you don't walk the talk and talk the way that like you're supposed to, if you kind of like I've always been a guy that goes against the grain. I don't really fit in the crowds right when I meet people. Like I've always just kind of beat to my own drum. You got to kind of like there's a way of doing things and you got to kind of conform to the Red Sox way. And not really like just the Red Sox way, just there's a way to do things like and I think that's common with big organizations, the Yankees, the Cubs. There's a way to do things, so it's not a negative. Just for me personally, I felt like I didn't really fit in there, and I was a little bit of an oddball out there. That's why I love the Angels because I'm like, oh my god, I fit in. I fit in. Like everyone's chill here, everyone's cool, everyone's laid back, like everyone's just his family. Like maybe it's the West Coast versus East Coast thing. Um, but like immediately fell in love with the Halos right off the bat. So negative, I would just say um, Salem, Virginia, the high A place or low A sucks. That's it. Like have nothing really bad to say about Boston. Positives about Houston is they are a kind of a like a culty family thing going on, and like in a good way because that's what you want. You want guys that like if you're gonna chase a World Series, you want everyone in on the like. I'm not kidding you. From top to bottom, every single person in that organization wants to win. Like it is an obsessive mindset. Everyone wants to win. Super competitive. The negative is over analytical and like little bit too much like rewriting the script here. Like at the end of the day, it's baseball. We're not sitting here. We're not data machines. They got really, really big into the data, which they've
Blessing
proved
and
it.
a curse.
Yeah, like they've proved it worked, but like at the same time, like, geez, man, like at the end of the day, it's like go out there. These guys have hearts. They're human beings with emotions. Like you can't. So I would say that like a little bit too much on the data. Um, but just top to bottom, like and like the food was good, like take care of their players well, beautiful facilities, freaking what's the place? Space Cowboys is hot as hell, so hot and humid. Um, Seattle, I would say the positive would be they are a blend of like the Halos and the Astros really laid back, really cool, but really want to win. And it's not in your face. It's like there's just kind of an expectation. Um, and they will, the fans are awesome, similar to like Halo fans, really cool Halo fans. They care about Seattle baseball a ton. There's a lot of history with the Mariners, which was cool. Um, Being out in the Pacific, whatever the Pacific, what's it called? The Pacific Midwest, or what's the thing called?
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest is geographically a really cool area. Um,
Yeah,
Tacoma,
Tacoma's beautiful.
Tacoma's absolutely gorgeous. Spring training was amazing. I would say just like it's a very like they do it like top to bottom. They just do things well. Like across the board, they do things really well. Negatively, I think that they get a little bit more into they're looking for like they get very caught up in and to each their own. They get very caught up in like this pitch is the best pitch in baseball, so every single pitcher that comes into this organization now has to throw this pitch. And if they don't throw that pitch, then they're not going to be a Seattle Mariner because this is the best pitch. Versus looking at different athletes and looking at different like things and being like, oh, well, this is like an outlier and this is kind of cool. We should go with there. So I would say kind of going back into the Astros a little bit of like super heavy on the analytics to where you kind of get like a little bit lost in them sometimes. And like at the end of the day, competition heart goes farther than anything. So kind of like the negative would be again like the analytics side. Uh, Angels, I mean, shoot, man. Obviously, positives would be you're pitching in Southern California. You have the best fan base in the world. The logo, the color's amazing. The field's amazing. Um, the atmosphere is super chill. The front office, more times than not, is really calm and chill. Their respect, they love the players. There's a huge family, like really family environment there, and I would say just from the beginning, feeling welcomed, being kind of like a new person on the team, you feel welcomed right away. And they're always going to have stars. Like Artie's going to buy stars. Artie's like he's going to have Trout. He's going to have Otani. He's going to have Pujols. Like he's going to have Hamilton and like he's going to just. There's always Rendon. Like there's going to be stars there, and like you get to play with stars. Like I played with three bona fide, some of the probably top 10 players of all time on one team. Um, and negative, I would say, I mean, it's kind of hard, man, because I didn't really go in the minor leagues there besides when I came back. I think the turnover I would say the negative would be the turnover in management sucks, and like coaching staff. Like I don't like that. I don't like, have a new manager every 2 3 years. I don't like having a coaching staff. I don't think the coaching staff and the manager is the problem. I don't think that, I think the GM, yes, has a deal, but like I think it's like you need to find the right person that you trust and say, I'm going to give you like an 8 year window. Like, I'm not going to give you a 2 year window. Like, you can't build culture and change an organization in 2 years. Like, you need like a decade to truly change an organization. And so the negative would be just like the turnover. There's been so many. I mean, I think I had three different pitching coaches when I was there, and I was there for 3 years. Like, and I had two different managers. It's like, two different GMs or whatever. Like, it's a lot. And so that's the only negative is like the turnover was pretty high. And as a player, you're trying to rally behind. You're trying to like you want to play well for your manager. You want to play well for your GM. You want to play well for your owner, and you can't do that. It's hard to do that when it's a new person every single day.
There you go. See, I was wondering if you were going to allude to it, but yeah, I think essentially it's the front office has to let baseball people make baseball decisions. You know what I mean? You hire someone, you hire Perry, Mickey Callaway, Doug White, whoever it was, you got to let them do their jobs. So
Sorry, I got really detailed. I gave you probably way too much detail there, but like I was going through memory lane, man, and I'm like, I'm just gonna say it all. So yeah, appreciate you listening to that whole spiel right there. But yeah,
no, you're good. Like I said, Ty, appreciate the time as always, man. Before we separate, what's going on in your life that you want to plug? You want to plug what you or Sam's got going on. This is your time.
shoot, man. I think honestly, I'm all about throwing praise to Sam. I've had my praise, I've had my shine. I don't care about that stuff. I want Sam to have all the glory. I want her to, continue doing her thing. So go support Sam. Go support AthleteCon. Give her a follow. Comment on her photos, whatever, man. Anything that helps Sam out is will make me very happy. So
There you
that's
go.
what I got.
Well, yeah, we'll put all our stuff in the description for anyone who wants to check out AthleteCon and what Sam Green has going on over there. On behalf of all of us here at Halos of the Infield, we thank you guys for tuning in on this yearly check-in with Ty Buttrey, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.